stand-up format. So focusing on what you have been doing for the last few days and what you will be focusing on the days ahead, and if there's anything blocking your progress. And I know, to start with, that if we get started, that the first item, the rewards committee, Matteo is on vacation, so he won't be able to report anything there. I know that he has started by asking a few people to join the committee, and that's it. But I think maybe it's a good idea to support Matteo and Levi. I think you and me should talk about maybe supporting him while he's gone and making sure that things move forward there. What do you think about that, Levi?
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, my computer is so slow. Yeah, I agree. We can look into that proposal and see what needs to change. I think almost everything needs to change now, actually. I was thinking we could reuse that, but maybe it's more simple to make a new one.
Yeah. But let's have a separate discussion about what needs to be done about that.
Yeah, sounds good.
And then praise backend. And Nagan, would you like to talk a bit about what you have been doing?
Yeah, sure. It's been a bit. I don't have that much to say because, well, we had these issues with the dashboard. It took a lot of time, and then I've been struggling with the Java, basically, with the Java Discord API, up to the point that I just my last point was to say, fuck it, I did it in Python. I have the basic bot in Python, and now I don't know, maybe just try to translate it or see. Maybe I should talk to Rudolf, and if we can have two little Python bots running in the server to feed the data to the database, maybe that's easier, because I think that could help us to also use the already existing bots and just modify them so they store the data somewhere else. I don't know, but yeah, so that's been it basically.
Yeah, it would be nice, I think, to upgrade the bots to use this the slash command Discord, wouldn't it?
Yeah, sure.
So some work needs to be done. I know, and when it comes to hosting the Python bots, what is needed to host those bots? Could they live on the same server as the backend in general?
I think yes. They don't need any kind of special resources, just an endpoint from which they communicate. So yes. Like the way that the project is, the backend is structured right now, with what Google did, is they are separate. So there is his backend and then this Telegram client and Java client, which has its own build file and everything separated. So I would have to talk to him to confirm that, but I think just having a bit of extra space where this thing can run, it wouldn't need to communicate with the rest of the backend except for sending the data.
Yeah, so by all means, check with him that, and I agree. If we can save a lot of time by using the existing bots, then of course that is something we could consider. Unless the bot the work of rewriting them is quite small, and we know that there's another advantage of making the new bots more integrated with the new backend, of course. So it could save us more time later on. But could you make an assessment together with him if it's which route to choose? if we keep the old bots and modify for the new backend, or if we make new bots.
Yeah, sure. I can talk to him about that. Yes.
Cool. And Rudolf is not here because he is at his day job. But what can I say for him about the backend in general? That is that the data model is set, I think, and he has begun implementing it. So he has implemented like a few of the endpoints these last few days. For instance, listing stuff concerning praise periods, and also some more work on the authentication layer and like the user stuff, like listing users, etc. So that's really nice that things are happening there, and I expect the rest of the endpoints that he will develop them quite quickly now that we have set the data model, etc. And he does not express any blockers. I think the blockers he has expressed is it has been about the data model, like the need to, we need to set the data model before I develop the endpoints. Otherwise, I have to rewrite everything when we decide on the data model. And now I think we have set that. So moving on to front end. I was hoping to see Rad Casale here, but he's not. No, he's not here. So, what I know about his work is that he has a time. He has time that he can focus on front end work the coming days. He had said I don't think he has seen so much progress so far. But I don't think he has any blockers, or the blockers would be me then. But I said, if you need anything, ask me questions, and I will give you what you need. And I'm also, so I'll continue to take the lead front-end developer role, which I'm totally happy with doing as well. And I've also been working a little bit the last few days with integrating with the new endpoints that Rudolf has made, and I've done some work with also with the front-end authentication layer of making sure that if your session token becomes invalid, you get redirected to the login page to log in again, etc. Those kind of basic scaffolding structural stuff. And the same with me as with Rudolf. I expect the work to move forward quite quickly once we have the foundation of the set. And I don't have any blockers there. I think we have. The data model is quite set, and we have also discussed this about the duplicate praise and all that kind of stuff we discussed last time. And moving on to Sourcecred bots. YYV is not here either. I know that he also has limited availability the coming days, for reasons I do not know, and I know that he has not had he has begun doing work on the meeting tracker bot, but that is all I know for now. I cannot speak more for him. End of the list. I can mention we would have spent longer time if everyone would have been here, of course. Maybe we will consider moving this meeting to a time that better suits everyone. I'll see, but it's difficult when everyone is in different time zones. I can just mention what some stuff that is up ahead that needs to be done, and one of the work streams that needs to be started is the work of taking care of the data that comes out of the praise system and the Sourcecred system, and the last step, that is the distribution and analysis steps. And it seems like it could work doing this in a Jupyter notebook format, like I proposed on the chat like last week. I'm talking to Nugget about that, and also MS, and I've been talking to Octopus, and we'll see who will do what. Let me share my screen just to show how the idea I have about this, and maybe I can get some feedback on that. So just a short rewind to freshen up our minds about this. The Sourcecred system and the praise system, they all output data. The praise system outputs quantified, the quantified praise data, and the Sourcecred system outputs the grain calculated data. For the praise data, we do this manual validation, which I believe will be a Google spreadsheet exercise for this first version, and then later on we will hope to include it into the praise system. And then comes the step that I believe will continue lie outside of the praise system, because it's a combination of data from Sourcecred and praise. It's not like a praise only functionality. So there we merge those two data streams into one, and calculate the token distribution. And also, when the token have been distributed, we do some analysis, and we would like to be able to write some report, or the rewards committee should be able to write some comments about this praise period. And my idea is to package all this into a Jupyter notebook, a Python notebook with four tabs, basically. And the benefit of doing it that way would be that we can take this Jupyter notebook and we can copy it for next praise period and reuse it, and also modify it slightly for next time, and we can store those notebooks in a GitHub repository and have full history, so you can easily move back. And in the best of worlds, we would also like build a really simple website where you can have like a list of praise periods, and you just click one of the older praise periods, and that opens up the old Jupyter notebook, where you can see like all the details, how the praise data was being converted into TEC tokens, and the analysis and the comments from the rewards committee, etc. So basically, for one notebook, 4 tabs. The first one is the praise input data, the quantified data. The second one is the Sourcecred input data with the grain information. The third one is where the actual TEC token distribution is being calculated, and how this looks in detail, we'll see. It's a formula, it's an algorithm that turns quantified praise data into TEC tokens. So that's a mathematical formula somehow. And I think it would be good to showcase that whatever parameters is deciding how this distribution looks. We want to visualize that, and we also want to make the actual token distribution, and we want there to be a button at the bottom saying, export DSV data, and that data you can feed into the DAO that makes the actual payments. And the fourth one would be used after the distribution is done, and that is the analysis step. So that like automated analysis of both the two input streams, as well as the final token distributions, and what metrics and visualizations we would like to have there. I don't know. I think Liv has a good idea. Everyone that was involved in the Praise-Mageddon aftermath, and coming up like these are good, interesting metrics that we would like to measure when we do quantification. That kind of stuff would be on this screen for every praise period, as well as some kind of explanatory text from the reward committee. Yeah, to sum things up. So that is my idea about that last step, and that could be treated as like a separate work stream, because we can quite easily define how will the output of the praise system look, even though it's not finished. So this thing can run in parallel with everything else. Any spontaneous feedback on this?
I noticed that you're talking about exporting CSV data. I noticed that GitHub gists are really great for storing that data because they can be embedded into anything that uses HTML or Markdown. If we choose to follow up with stuff on forum posts, it could be worth creating gists automatically.
Yeah, I also saw that there is, I think there's like a CSV data importer plugin for Jupyter Notebooks, so you can include that. My hopes are that we, on this GitHub repository, we have one folder for each praise period, and within that folder we have like 2 input CSV files. And we can use them for what you mentioned, of course, to include them in a web page. As long as they are accessible on GitHub, we can use them as easily as if they were in the GitHub gist.
Yeah, and for the metrics, I think we don't have like the best idea on them yet, but it's something we'll be looking into in the research group. So maybe that will like come later, but it's great to have a place for them to be already.
Yeah. And the big advantage here would be that if we start with a notebook with quite simple metrics, then we copy it for the next praise period, and then we add something that we, figured out that period we wouldn't need this as well, and then it can, it can slowly evolve over time, but we can always move back. So it becomes a tool for transparency and traceability, and see who did what and when, and yeah. And I also could mention that I talked to Mitchell and Livy before this, and sort of concluded that the reward system process and the rules of praise and quantification, those 2 work streams are not necessarily done, but at least they're on hold for now. There is no more work being done currently. Maybe we'll reopen them later on. And that is all I have on my agenda. Would anyone like to bring up something else related to the reward system development to use this time for? I'm interpreting that as a no. No, but I'd say we are seeing good progress, and Griff said, like Griff had a meeting with Griff just recently, like all resources, everyone is quite squeezed just now. Everyone has a lot to do. So in hopefully in like a week or 10 days time, there will be more space in everyone's calendar, and I think things will move even faster when the commons upgrade parameters dashboard is done, etc. So cool.
Good.
Yeah. So thank you all for this, and see you, and take care.